guys, that's where we are today. No, don't come over here, Fran. How pretty it is out here where I'm at. Okay guys, I want you to see down there. This is my gorgeous son. Say hello, Devin. He's like, I want to just get going. Hi guys, this is Annette with the Annette Astrology Corner, and this is your daily horoscope and energy reading for Monday. And I'd originally took you guys out to Lava Canyon, and it's gorgeous, and I'm going to include them at the very beginning of the video. But there was so much going on with all of the fires that are out here, the wildfires that kind of made everything hazy. So you didn't get a really good view of that, so I kind of want to hike back out there again and take you on some live shots out there. So I want to talk about this week because this week is an eventful week. It has a lot going on, and I want to start out by saying that energy shifts, and when energy shifts, so does focus. So does your focus, my focus, energy's focus. And when that happens, you hear me talk and emphasize about energies on different levels, and it seems to go through the entire month. And that is because those energies don't really shift. Their aspects do, but the energy doesn't. And that is why at times I kind of repeat myself, because the energy is re-emphasizing itself over and over again, because it's wanting you to focus, hone your focus in on specific areas. And this is very important for you to understand if you're really trying to learn how to manipulate energy, utilize it, and optimize it. So the energies that are going to be at play all week long and going into our full moon that we're going to have on Saturday is the sun in Virgo is really wanting an emphasis on your personal routines. Okay, how are you doing in your personal regiments, or your rituals, your personal rituals? It's very important for you to understand your rituals and then how those trigger certain things in your life. So let's say when you get really stressed out, you emotional eat. You know, when you go to the refrigerator and you open the door and you're looking for something, you want to stop yourself and you want to write down what happened right before you went to the refrigerator. If it's not at a primary time of, like, you know, breakfast, lunch, or dinner, then what caused you to go to that door? Now, most of our triggers are very unconscious for us, or they are rituals that we have in place that when we think about something specifically, and it could be anything, that it then in turn sets off that ritual that we have to go need a carbohydrate or a sugar substance, something that pleases your taste buds to get through that moment. And so it's really important for you guys to start identifying your rituals and what causes you to go over there and seek an immediate gratification. So you're going to hear me talk a lot about this month, and I already started it, about what rituals do you have in place, what causes you to do things. I want you guys to start focusing on your triggers. Now, when energy first shifts, it shifts into it's at 0 degrees. So when it's at 0 degrees, that means it's essentially an infant in that energy source. So it's really immature in that energy. So it'll start to bring out the lower vibrations of that energy. And with Jupiter conjuncting the sun, Jupiter's also in Virgo. We're talking about it's expanding it out of control. It's like you light a match during dry season and and you accidentally dropped it and you started a fire and you didn't even mean to, and it just goes raging out of control. So Jupiter is expanding everything that in all of our rituals. That means if our rituals are really good, it's expanding some positive results in those rituals, and it's allowing us to expand and create better goals and better rituals for us to, have whatever we're focusing on take off. If we are in bad rituals, if we are in self-sabotaging behaviors, if we have poor coping methods, it's making those go out of control. It's making our need to seek immediate gratification more apparent to us. And in turn, it's causing addictions, it's causing self-sabotaging behaviors to increase exponentially. And I am hearing that a lot from you, and I am noticing it in my own life. One of the energies that speak to me on a daily basis is just this need for us to set up some routines. All I hear from the second I wake up in the morning to when I go to bed at night is routine, routine, routine. What routine are you doing that is sabotaging your own need to excel? And Jupiter is really, really expanding some of my poor behaviors. It's also expanding my internal need, the Sun in Virgo, to set up something to stop doing that. Now, that's because I'm self-reflective, and I do have Virgo energy in me that I want to stop doing those things internally. It's actually ingrained in me. It's not, I never receive a payoff. I'm not gifted in that way in the universe where I receive a payoff when I succumb. The only time that I receive significant payoff is if I'm going toward ascension at this point in my awakening. And that's different for everybody. Just depends on where you are at in your awakening. One of the things that I'm also noticing in this energy in this week, and I'm sorry Monday's going to be a really long reading, but it is going to set the tone for the entire week because this is a big week and it's got a lot of energy, and I really want to start out by explaining why we are feeling what we're feeling. So when Mercury is in Virgo, this is diving into how we think, how we critically analyze. Now, for some of us, if we are critical people by nature, if we are judgmental, then Jupiter's going in and expanding the way that we view others. And I believe that the way that we view others is just nothing but projection. And projection is basically a concept that states that if you say you're a really negative person and, you just look at everybody and you comment about how fat they are, you comment about how they've ruined their lives, you comment about how they could have made better choices for their life. Projection is a term that reflects how you feel about yourself, and then you post your opinion on other people. So, for instance, if you think somebody's fat, then probably internally you either have some sort of obsession with being thin, and so you are looking at how heavy everybody else is because it's constantly on your mind, or you are a person that desires to be thin, and so therefore you are critically analyzing everybody to make you feel good. You're trying to take them down a notch to justify where you are at in your weight routines. And we all do this to some degree. There are people that definitely have almost an addiction to doing this to create a justification for where they're at. So let's say that you're a person that just is in terrible relationship after terrible relationship after terrible relationship, and you tell everybody, well, this person did it to me. It was always their fault. I'm going to say that at some point you chose that partner. So at some point, this buck starts with you. And I know this because my buck starts with me. I may have had narcissistic relationships, one right after the other, but karmically, the buck started with me. That means I was supposed to be learning something from these gorgeous karmic relationships that I was in that made me analyze why I'm a codependent. And I had these beautiful karmic relationships coming into my life, causing me extreme amounts of pain, so that I understood that I am a codependent and that I identify myself through my partners. And when these partners don't want me anymore, then I determined that I am unwantable. So I needed this. And so the book will always start with you. Now, it is true that terrible, terrible things happen to really good people who have done nothing wrong. But it's how you recover, how you survive them, how you overcome these obstacles. That actually goes down to your belief system and how you believe, how you set up values for yourself, and how you value yourself and how you value others, and how you value your significant relationships in your life to want to overcome these. If you want to be a victim and you want to make everybody feel sorry for you, then in turn, that's how you value those people, is that they're there to serve you during these times of need. We all have these weird routines, these rituals, these unconscious things even that we do, that Jupiter and all this Virgo energy is going into, because we're in relationship with everybody. We're not just walking, no matter how much we isolate ourselves, we can't deny the fact that at some point we either observe others, or we put others down, or we seek others to get something for ourselves. I mean, and that's just human behavior, and there's nothing wrong with that as long as you guys aren't one of those people that are going after other people to fill a deficiency within inside yourself. That's another story that you guys will karmically be taught. We've also had a lot of energy in our South Node wiring, and we will, oh my goodness, this week. And so let's talk about that, because the South Node is going to be in Aries. And this South Node wiring in Aries is often opposed and actually in a flat out quincunx with Jupiter in Virgo and and the Sun in Virgo, which means to me that there is some South Node wiring that you have. And South Node is just your predisposed wiring to make life easy. It's what you came into the world with. It was your gifts that you came in. It's just your natural abilities without even having to think about it. I'm a clean freak, and I like my place to be super organized. I am really good at organization. I'm super good at it. But not everybody is like me. And so sometimes that frustrates me because, I don't see how people are different from me. And so when I was younger, I relied on my South Node wiring to kind of made me feel better than other people. And this wasn't conscious, and I didn't intentionally do it, but it was something that I felt like I was kind of a step above them. So this is coming under fire, and it's being pulled down into the negative, very negative vibration. When you're in a quincunx, it's probably about as low as a vibration can go in an energy. A square is definitely just pulling down the energy, but I believe that that's in a conscious awareness. A quincunx is just opposition. They just freaking won't see each other's side, and that is hard. That's like a Republican and a Democrat arguing over the United States healthcare plan. They were opposites. They weren't ever going to work together. It was never destined to be a functioning system within our government, because these two people just these two giant organizations just within our own government were on opposite sides. So how is it ever supposed to be successful? Period. So you can argue And you can pull all your ego in, your South Node ego-based wiring, because it's in Aries. And you can say, well, I'm right because of these reasons, and I'm right because of these reasons, and I'm here because I'm this, and you're not because I'm this. And you can get caught up all in that, but you're going to be experiencing some incredible, terrible quincunxes this week. So I want to warn you about them. Also this week, we're going to have some incredible struggles from within. We want to rely heavily on our predisposed wiring, things that make life easy, our relationships that make life easy, meaning if there are some past relationships that accept our deficiencies, then we're going to want to pull away from all this forward movement, and we're going to want to take the easy route out because they pave the way for an easy road, right? And so you're going to find those relationships popping up this week. But here's the thing. That is not going to inevitably pull you away from having to face these deficiencies, because these deficiencies are internal. They are lying in your unconscious realms. So even though that person can stroke your ego and make you believe that your self-sabotaging behavior is acceptable or that it's justified because you have an addiction, it does not exactly promote internal peace. And it doesn't, because deep down, internally, there's going to be a struggle this week to overcome these things, no matter how paved and how cushy your life is. Also, there is a strong desire in this week, especially when we have a Capricorn moon in place and Pluto in Capricorn. They're going to be working together to ask you to set up some controlled routines. Now, I think there's going to be this voice inside you that knows that you're secretly going out of control and you want to get a handle on it, but there's going to be this realization at some point this week that you need to acknowledge these self-sabotaging behaviors, these poor coping methods. And in turn, you are going to start to become awakened to the fact that you need to set up healthy boundaries and healthy routines, very healthy rituals that you do on a regular basis to start to overcome. Because see, what you want is to create a stable environment, not a volatile environment anymore. Look, if it's one thing that we learned from the Pluto-Uranus squares, and that is we don't want a shaky foundation. That's all that was pointed out during the Saturn transit and during the Pluto-Uranus squares, is that, all we've been ever walking on is quicksand, is a shaky foundation, is a house that was built on an earthquake crack, and then we had a big earthquake in our life and it actually started to crumble, and we're feeling that. We're feeling those ascension symptoms right now, and that's what this is all tied into. So I'm going to start talking about Monday, and I did cover a lot of what's going to be going on today. I'm just going to briefly touch on it because we can get into it later on during the week. But again, we have that Sun in Virgo and that Jupiter in Virgo conjunct, okay? So we're looking at our analytical processes. We want to think things through. When we get a revelation in our mind that that we really need to set up some healthy routines, first we're going to fight with our ego, right? We're going to fight with what's always worked has always worked, right? And why should I work that hard to change anything? And you're going to have this ego struggle between the sun wanting to shine and at a highest potential. It wants to get out from behind the clouds, and it wants to just heat the world up and create life for everybody. But you have the South Node in Aries in QUINCUNX saying, if I do that, you start to feel fear. You start to feel anxiety. You start to feel like you can't do it. You start to play at an unconscious level. You start to play a tape in your head that that says that, you failed at this and you failed at that and you failed at this. And so therefore you can't do it. And then you're going to want to escape. That is what this day is going to be about. And so you want to reside in the fact that you want to create the illusion that you have it more together than you think you do. When you start to feel like the sun wants to shine over here and create some new routines and do something totally different, and you have logic backing it up, and logic is a very powerful thing in our heads. It's why we have such a large brain. It's because we have these emotional based reactions, this Aries energy that says me, make me feel good, immediate gratification. It's impatient. It makes you want all of this stuff. But then you've got this energy over here, but saying, yeah, but I've got a better process now. I'm onto something. I'm seeing things for the first time. I haven't really put all of that together before. But there's the struggle. And then there's the need to want to run away and create the illusion that, what, everything's okay. I don't even know why I am thinking about that. That's when you're going to see Saturn square off with this need to set up all these analytical processes. See, what Saturn is doing is it wants more control over the situation that's going on. With Jupiter in this scenario, there is no control because it's expanding these things exponentially out of control. So people who have addictions are noticing that their addictions to things are increasing. Their rituals are getting worse. They're noticing that their fears are coming out more, which in turn sets off this thinking that they can't control these things. So I think Saturn wants to go in and square off so at first when you start out, you're like, oh, I can create these rituals and it's going to be a great day. And, I really want to start working out more. I really want to start eating better. I want to stop the rituals that I have, the self-sabotaging behaviors, the poor coping methods. And then you're going to have all this ego-based energy that comes in and says, everything is fine. I don't know why you want to go this way. And you're going to feel this tug of war. Then it's going to want to make you escape. And then Saturn's going to get really sick and tired of that, square off with all this energy and square off with the sun and Jupiter. And because it's going to get mad that you start to fall on these poor coping methods and that you just want to chuck out Neptune and Pisces out and pretend like it's not there and live in a freaking fantasy world. Ugh. That's driving me crazy about the whole Pisces energy. And I have it, so I'm not going to lie. I do it all the time. Papa. Then we have the moon in Capricorn and Pluto in Capricorn in a QUINCUNX with Mars today. So again, we're talking about a very big ego-based energy that we have. Now, Mars in Leo is a great energy if you want to make progression, if you want to have the confidence to move forward, and you do not want any fear involved because you have this childlike enthusiasm where you don't think about repercussion, you just do it, right? You're going to have Pluto in Capricorn and the moon in Capricorn, both conjunct QUINCUNXing Mars and Leo. And what this is saying is that you need to become emotionally on board with what you desire. Now, what we desire, yes, is somewhat emotion-based, but it's pleasure-seeking. That, Mars in Leo is a pleasure-seeking energy. But there has to be some logical stability that goes along with it. I mean, Capricorn energy is a very precise energy. It detaches emotionally and it always keeps its eye on the ball and it does what it takes to get to its goal. Remember, this is an energy that, is a very progressive energy when it locks and loads on a specific goal. And at some point you are getting, with all this energy swirling and whirling around, you're getting an idea that there is something that needs to change. No matter how much you try to Neptune out, no matter how much you try to South Node it out and fall back on predisposed wiring, at some point there is something going on in you, and it's stirring Capricorn, your Capricorn moon right now. And we're all subject to these energies, no matter if we have a Capricorn moon or not. I do not believe that because we don't have a natal moon in Capricorn, that it doesn't stir us. I believe it impacts people with a natal moon in Capricorn more, or a sun, or their rising sign, because this moon is in, all your emotions are going to be in Capricorn. So yes, they will feel this, but all of us are subject to energy. All of us. I don't have really strong placements of Scorpio energy, but I feel Scorpio energy down to the core, down to when it when it went back into transit, I was seeing the darkness around me as an empath. So I believe that we all have these capabilities of that we need to take care of this. Here, I'm sorry, I just gotta drink my tea because my throat gets dry. So there are some of us that we want to set up healthy routines. We are done with sabotaging ourselves. We're aware, we're awakened to our own issues. And for those of you that our journey today is going to be extremely different, as well as for the entire week. And that's why these are going to be a lot longer videos than I think I was doing before. That is because I'm very focused on the message that I have this week. Saturn in Scorpio, if you are working in the North Node in Libra, let's talk about what North Node in Libra means, because I don't think I've really covered it. I've been talking about North Node in Libra for a really long time. Your North Node in Libra is where you're ascending to, where we've all been working. We've all had these energies between our ego, our South Node, and this North Node. Good for all, justice for all, peace for all, balance, and so I think for some of us, it's shifted. Ego, then we want balance, and then it's ego, and then we want balance, and then we keep going back and forth, and it's driving us freaking crazy, because I think there are times when we have such an enlightenment, and then we fall back into our predisposed wiring of our ego, because it's just freaking easier, and it supplies us with instant gratification. It gives us a lot more pleasure than looking at both sides and weighing everything out, and looking for peace for all, and being accountable and holding others accountable. That's not comfort, It's not. I hate confrontation. I know I have an Aries moon, and so during anger, I can confront you. But when I am in balance, when I am in peace, when I am not Annabelle, when I'm Annette, I used to have a sweet boyfriend who used to call me Annabelle when I was an Aries moon. But when I'm normally not, when my emotions aren't activated, then I was Annette. And so when I'm Annette, I love everything is balanced. Everything is very peacekeeping. Everything is very weighed, because I have some predominant Libra placements that help me weigh everything out and make sure everything is all perfect and rosy for everybody. And I consider everybody almost more important than myself. So if you are working in your Libra North Node, meaning you are trying to balance you out, you're trying to balance out your situations, you're trying to look at everything from both sides, and you're trying to correlate all this data, you're kind of trying to remove yourself emotionally from highly emotional, volatile situations, and you're really trying to explore what it's going to take for you to progress and ascend, and you are going to have one fantastic week. And that is because this North Node in Libra is going to be working with Mercury in Virgo. So this is beautiful. And Saturn in Scorpio is going to be sextiling both of those energies. So we're talking about transformation. We're talking about finding balance and healthy mental well-being routines, as well as in physical health routines. We're talking about setting up rituals that pull us out of some of our self-sabotaging behaviors. And we're talking about changing the way that we think, and really diving in to setting up a purpose, setting up goals, setting up healthy work routines, and having life balance. So we're really trying to do that. And I think, thankfully, I'm one of those people that maybe, I never know, but, you know, maybe one of these people that are really starting to feel this energy, because that's why I decided that, you know, my monthlies, you know, just are redundant because I'm just saying the same information over and over again. So, you know, I set up a routine where I'm going to concentrate more on my dailies, and I'm going to be there daily for you, which is what I truly want to be, is a helpful source for you on a daily basis. So when you have a rough day, when you have a hard day, when you have a day that takes more out of you than you can possibly, or you need some sort of clarification as to why, I just want to tell you, it's just energy, sweeties. You know, and it'll pass, and we can concentrate on better energies like this Libra energy. Also, we have Uranus and Aries trining Venus and Leo, and we have Saturn and Scorpio is going to be trining that South Node. Now, Uranus and Aries is going to be trining Venus and Leo. I see this as positive and negative. For those of you that have life balance, have significant life balance, then you're going to start to find that people just easily are coming back into your life and giving you opportunities that is providing you with past financial endeavors that you kind of put on the back burner and you thought you forgot about, or you're going to start having friends want to motivate you in a certain direction. They keep reiterating the same thing. I have multiple people that tell me I should write a book. And it's coming up over and over again. And, you know, so if that's starting to come up to me, I kind of look at those as signals, as like, maybe that's what I should be doing. Of course, I'm not ready for that, but that's, you know, something that's working in there. And these people are helping me. And so that's kind of, it's unexpected and it's ego building. So that's that Uranus and Aries. It's making me flourish in an area where I have felt deficient in. I don't feel like I have enough to say to write a book, but then so many people are telling me that I do. So we're having this gorgeous trine going on. Is it meaning that I'm going to do anything about it? No, because it's a trine. It's not a sextile. Sextiles are very motivating. It's like, you know, lighting the rocket to, you know, push you to the moon. That's the way sextile is. But a trine is like, people keep saying it, but it's outside my comfort zone. So that takes a lot of work. So maybe I'm not going to do that right now. But thank you. It's working in there. You planted your seed. So that's going on. Also, relationships from your past may be encouraging you to make significant changes that are highly beneficial. And for that, you can't beat a trine, because these people are coming back into your life and they are talking to you. They are expanding you in different directions. And, you know, they are creating a solid foundation or a support system. Now, what can happen for those of you that I was talking about that are in difficult points in your life, that are struggling between ego versus expansive issues regarding coping methods and self-sabotaging issues. You could be having people that come back from your past that support some of these negative aspects of your life and actually try to encourage you to get them out of control. That is a relationship. They are karmic. They may be coming back because they need you to go through this ego, breaking the ego, the death of the ego, you know, and, you know, they may be exposing you to fear. And do you succumb at the highest points of fear? You could be falling into these traps and then you fall back on ego. You need these things to see where you're at. Are you on the ascension level and you're going up, or are you going down? Even if you're going down, sweeties, that just means that enough pain can be associated with going down to want to change and start ascending. Because ascending is hard work. Ascending is full of ascension symptoms. It's full of pain. It's loneliness. It's a private journey, and it is at times isolating, and it is something that you have to be really, really, really strong to want to do. You have to have enough pain associated with going the other direction, not falling on your South Node wiring, to want to ascend to your North Node wiring. So we have this dichotomy this week. We're going to see it all week. And I want you guys to really, maybe today, just pay attention. Do more of your self-sabotaging behaviors come out than you're comfortable with? Do you notice that you are under an extreme amount of fear, or you are under an extreme amount of situations that are causing you to doubt yourself? If you are, then you're going in the wrong direction. You're going South Node. You're not going North Node. If you're going South Node, then you're going to be full of squares, quincunx, oppositions this week, I assure you. If you feel that everything is just, all this expansion is, yes, invoking fear because you need enough pain associated with the South Node to want to ascend, because we've got some trining going on. So we don't want to fall back into that South Node wiring, and we don't want people to be influencing us in a terrible direction. So we still need enough pain associated with the South Node, but we still feel like, wow, I'm starting to feel it. Like, if it's only making one goal, I'm starting to want to even make that goal. It's ascension, and you're going in the right direction. Thank you so much for watching Annette's Astrology Corner, and I will talk to you guys again tomorrow.